Welcome to the Get Good at Presenting podcast with Lee Jackson.
Well, we're here in Leeds with Larry Long Jr. from North Carolina. He's come all the way to stay with me in Leeds, and I'm going to ask Larry some questions. He is a professional speaker from the States, very different background to me, very different style in some ways and everything, but I've just been great hanging out with Larry. So I thought, just for the podcast and for this recording, and just to ask him a few questions. So Larry, tell us about North Carolina.
North Kakalaki. Woo-wee. Oh, goodness. It's a great place to visit. Me and my family, great place to live. It is, it's nice. The people are nice, really down home country, southern hospitality.
Yeah.
The weather is mild. We've got the beach 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We've got the mountains 3 hours. So we're in a really good place. I love North Carolina. I didn't think so. It was kind of slow and kind of country, but it's grown on me.
Ah, you see, yeah, that's good, yeah. Yeah, and you bring your family, we'll talk about your work in a bit, but you try to bring your family with you when you're working. I love that.
Yeah, it's a choice. Part of my plan is to have my family involved and to travel internationally as well as within the U.S. And really, the idea behind it is to expose my kids, my 16-year-old and my 12-year-old, to different cultures, different places. My wife loves history. So I think they say happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, I think we have that in England as well. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, people say that expression. I suppose it could be happy husband, happy life. But yeah, it's helpful. But see, she likes old stuff. You love golf, don't you, right?
That I do. And you know that Tiger Woods is my cousin. I mean, long lost. They certainly call me Larry. Hit it in the woods. But I love to golf and taking my golf clubs all around the world. I've been really fortunate, really blessed to have teed it up in Sydney, Australia, Singapore, got fly in Dubai. I just played the old course in St. Andrews, which is a truly bucket list course. And then getting to enjoy the lovely Leeds golf course, which, was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we arranged Larry to play with two of the top clubs around here. One Motown Golf Club, Ryder Cup 1929, first Ryder Cup on the British soil, I think, nearly 100 years ago, and it's literally like a few hundred yards from my house. So we had to team up, but golf is not my thing. So I let you play on your own, Larry, didn't I? I set you up with my friend Nick, and you were all good, weren't you?
We had a splendid time. Nick was amazing. Great company, great golf course, hot weather. I think they said that I brought the heat. They said I brought the heat wave, but it was fantastic. And, after Moortown got to play more, what was that?
Allerton.
More Allerton, which was another nice track. Certainly a lot hillier than Moortown. My legs are still feeling from walking up those hills and chasing my ball. I hit it all around. I think I covered every bit of terrain on that golf course.
That's great. Yeah. So we'll go into, because there'll be lots of speakers listening to this, and they're interested in what a professional speaker does, in those tips that you can give them. And, but it's funny, we're talking about family, we're talking about golf, because these are actually part of what you want to do. So you don't just want to speak, you want to make speaking a lifestyle, an experience. Take your kids with you, take your golf clubs with you. And I've got these golf clubs in my hall right now. So they're not shy, are they? There's a lot of stuff to carry, man.
That's right. And it's funny you mentioned that. I worked with a performance coach 5+ years ago, and she asked me the question that was, for me, very difficult to answer. What do you want specifically? And my initial answer was, I want to be a millionaire. And she said, Larry, nah, that's not a good answer. That's so broad and basic, and that's a cop-out. Yeah. She said, what do you really want specifically, personally and professionally? And I had to turn off my camera on Zoom because there were tears in my eyes, but I wanted to be a global, international, professional speaker. I wanted to have my family involved in the business and travel with me. I wanted golf to be involved, and I wanted my fun meter to be off the charts. And, there's a saying, Lee, that we oftentimes overestimate what we can do in 5 months. And we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Yeah. Looking back over these past 5 years, it's been a amazing and fantastic voyage. It's been an adventure and a lot of misadventure mixed in there as well. But it has been a ton of fun.
Yeah, that sounds great. And it's funny you said that, but I used to have that quote above my desk when I first started. And it was just the best quote ever to understand. And I'm 18 years into this. And sure, I'd have, it's just been good to make a living, to be honest, because some people just do it for a year and they can't handle it and they go and do something else. But before you're a speaker, we'll come on to what you speak about and the top tips you've got. But you had a corporate career before speaking. So this is like your second career, really, right?
Yeah. Well, it's really my fourth career.
Fourth?
I graduated college and I worked for Accenture doing IT consulting. And I was traveling around the U.S., the States, which was good, but the work was not enjoyable. The people were cool. The travel was cool. I didn't enjoy the actual work. We were putting in systems and computer programs to eliminate people's jobs, send jobs to India. It wasn't fulfilling to me. Yeah. I left that to open up an indoor baseball and softball academy, which I love, teaching youngsters the fundamentals, and that's capital F-U-N, fundamentals of baseball and softball. More importantly, life. Unfortunately, we ran out of cash. And, no cash, no business. My parents bailed us out. And then they said, hey, Lil Larry, we love you so much. We're going to let you shut this thing down.
Yes.
So then I transitioned into software sales, and I was making 150 cold calls every day to accountants and chartered accountants trying to sell software. Yeah, I spent 16 years, 10 different organizations in software sales. And that's when I made my transition into professional speaking.
Wow. So you didn't go from like software or IT into software. You went from IT into baseball, like running that stuff. And then, but I can imagine, and I know you fairly well now, I guess, but I can imagine if you're doing the fundamentals in the baseball, having fun, it's harder to, let's go and do the spreadsheets, right? Let's go and do the boring business stuff because you're having so much fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it hurt.
Well, cash is king, right? Cash is king, yeah.
Yeah, that was School of Hard Knocks, HKU, Hard Knocks University. Because if you have more money going out the back door than you have coming in the front door, I think they call that a cash flow problem. And my parents said, hey, you're not a big bank. You're not too big to fail, little Larry. And that was, I learned a tough lesson, but a valuable lesson. Always know your numbers. It's kind of like Shark Tank. I think y'all call it Dragon's Den. You better know your numbers, your income statement, your balance sheet, statement of cash flows. So my accountant probably hates me. I love you, Crystal. She probably hates me because I ask the dumbest questions. Yeah. When you talk about accounting and financial statements for dummies, I'm that dummy, but I will not get caught like I did before. I learned my lesson and I'm actually implementing. I ask her all the questions in the world.
Yeah. I spoke to my accountant the other day and I said to them, I don't understand what you've sent to me. And I literally said to her, I said, explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old.
That's it. I can relate.
And I was like, because I hate all of that side of the business, right? But that's business. You've got to do that side of it. But so there you go. But this isn't a business advice program. This is get good at presenting. I want to help people to present better or understand what a professional speaker does and that kind of thing. So it'd be really good to get some of those tips from you about what you speak about, how you develop that in quite a short time, over 5 years. And maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, the journey has been amazingly to think these past 5 years that I get paid to serve and speak and share my quote unquote expertise around sales, life, and LinkedIn. I pinch myself every day but not too hard because I don't want to wake up from this dream. I'm blessed beyond measure.
Yeah.
From the kid who used to get sent to detention in school for talking to now getting paid to serve and speak. Come on now. In the words of that great philosopher, Aristotle, no, the other great philosopher, J.J. Walker, my life is dynamite. And I love it. Being able to serve sales professionals, entrepreneurs, business professionals, those that are looking to be at their very best and looking to live a fulfilled and meaningful life with purpose and intention, taking action. It's a beautiful thing. And I want to share that with everyone else. I don't want to keep it to myself because for so long I was stuck in corporate America. And that's why the name of my book is Jolt. I almost called it Unstuck because it was really, it was a message for me, Larry.
Yeah.
You're stuck, but you don't have to be. You have a choice. Now, it's a tough choice to leave the cushy corporate America job. I was getting paid every 2 weeks with a nice paycheck. I used to get my monthly commissions, my quarterly bonuses. I'd be lying to say that wasn't nice. It was beautiful, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy. And thankfully, I have a spouse. My wife said, baby, you put on this smile for a mile when you're in the office, but we see you when you come in through the doors, shoulders slumped, miserable, halfway depressed. She said, you deserve better. And we want the real Larry. We want the upbeat Larry. We don't want this secondhand Larry. And she gave me the encouragement. She cheered me on, and she's been by my side, my front, my back, my side to side over the past 5 years. It's been amazing. The journey that we've been on, the adventures, the misadventures, the lessons learned and the lessons earned.
That's right.
But there's nothing more fulfilling, Lee, to be able to serve other people. You know how that is, to be able to get paid to serve other people, to help to lift them up.
So let's look at that word serve then for a bit, because you're a speaker, right? So you're doing talks, you're doing a keynote talk or a masterclass or whatever you call it. You're doing talks to people. You're stood at the front of a room. Usually that's what we do, right? But you use the word serve a lot. So explain what you mean, because surely you're self-serving. Surely you're just coming into some ego thing or something. Explain to me what you mean by serve. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, for me, I believe that God gave me the gift to motivate, inspire, which if you keep it real, motivation and inspiration, it comes and it goes. My big focus is transformation, and to truly transform the audience, the people in the audience, their mindset, but more importantly, their action set. What actions? What do they actually do? Not what are they thinking? What are they believing? That's good. It's a good start, but gooder is when you take action. And that's where I get excited when people say, Larry, I did your 3-minute challenge and it helped my friend who was going through a tough time, just to have me reach out to them and put a smile on their face, surprise and delight. There's no better feeling for me. And yes, it is self-serving. I love it to know that I'm impacting people's lives for the better so that they can be better. I believe that this world needs more and more of that versus the other side. I used to run a midday motivational minute. I started on April 22nd of 2020 at the start of the pandemic. And it came about. I was talking with my wife and I said, baby, when you look at the news, they might as well call it bad news. That's all it was. The world is ending. Woe is us. Oh, what in the world? And yes, the pandemic was not good. However, there was a lot of good that was going on. And unfortunately, good doesn't sell in mainstream media. So I said, what can I do? What action can I take? I'm not on NBC in the States, ABC, CBS. I think y'all call it the BBC here. I'm not on the major news networks, but I do have a platform on LinkedIn. They call me LinkedIn Larry, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. So I decided that I would do a midday motivational minute. It was really anywhere from 5 to 12 minutes where I just share a word of encouragement, a word of positivity. Then I started going live with my midday motivational minute. I just ended it a little over a month, just about a month ago. And we did 316 episodes. Over 5 years. I think I missed 4 weeks. We were just talking about the one spot. My birthday is June 15th. So the first year I spent my birthday, we went to Popeyes. My kids took me to Popeyes for my birthday, so I didn't record that day. Then there was another time where I needed a mental health break, but that consistency, the impact, my wife's friends in Argentina, they said, Maria, we don't understand what your husband is saying. Our English is not very good looking. But whatever he's saying, he says it with such conviction. He says it with a smile for a mile. It makes us feel good. That's that mic drop moment right there.
So let's be honest then, right? So you're doing it on LinkedIn. You put it on all the other socials as well?
LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Yeah, so you did all those. So this surf thing's interesting, but some people could look from the outside and say, well, yeah, but he's just trying to get known, right?
Yeah.
So how do you balance? Because you're doing it it's marketing, right? It's publicity as a speaker, but you still have this big thread of I want to help people, I want to serve people. So how do you balance those two things up?
Yeah, for those folks that would say he's doing it for branding and publicity, I would say you're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm going to say yes, and I'm serving people, helping them to get to where they want to get to. And in return, I'm also serving myself in the spirit of helping more people. You see, I could be the best kept secret. Shh. Who's Larry Long Jr.? I don't know him. Larry Long Jr. Who? But I make a choice, and I'm very intentional to make sure that my message reaches as many people as I possibly can get that message to reach, because it's a message of goodness. It's a message of optimism. It's a message that you can be better than what you are right now.
Yeah.
You've got inner greatness. And that message was one that I needed to hear. When I wrote my book, Lee, it was really written for me. What story are you telling yourself and believing? Strikeouts, they're a part of life. You are what you eat, which would make me a fried chicken. But what are you consuming when it comes to TV and podcasts? What are you listening to? What people are you surrounding yourself with? What's your definition of sales? And how do you use that to benefit your life? Back to basics, the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s. Sometimes we go ahead and get over our skis and we start to focus on advanced concepts when we don't even have the basic foundations set. And then lessons from my dad, chapter number 7. I lost my father a little over 10 years ago, and just observing him. It wasn't necessarily his words. He didn't speak much, but his actions. And there's a saying, your actions speak so loud.
Yeah.
I can't hear what you're saying. So being able to share those lessons and pass those along and share it with the world, share it with my current kids and my future grandchildren, legacy. So just blessed. And when I think about service, I think of what are you doing to help someone else get what they want, get what they deserve.
So that becomes a motivator for you, right? So I mean, as a speaker, the question I would ask you is, where did you get all that content? 300 and something episodes, right? You're thinking, wow, because some speakers will write a book or they'll have a talk and they'll just do that for years and years and years. The same thing. That's not the way I work. I'm always reading, always listening to research, podcasts and reading books and listening to stuff, whatever. But tell me how because there's a lot of discipline that takes place in you having to deliver basically a small talk every week with fresh content, right?
Yeah, life. I think they said it's 4-letter word, life. Life be lifing. I mean, let's take it back to the George Floyd days. There were some conversations there where there were tears and me sharing vulnerably my feelings as an African-American male in the United States.
Yeah.
And some of the inequalities. And I shared with my audience that I often don't share my true feelings because I keep those feelings under lock and key in the very back of my head. But I was compelled to share authentically my feelings. And I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't gone there very often because it doesn't put me in a really good space, which is no excuse. I probably need to seek out therapy, a feelings doctor, but it's my coping mechanism and the way that I'm able to sustain life and in the spirit of my intentions and in the spirit of serving my family. But yeah, every week, just life. When you think about life and sales and relationships and business, that's all the content you need. I play a lot of golf, so I meet a lot of people. I go to networking events. I talk to people. There's always lessons that are going. I mean, life, if you live it, it's going to give you some answers. Are you asking the right questions? Are you observant? What I've seen, just being observant, I'm guilty as charged. So often our head is down in our phones. We're consuming content, we're swiping, that we miss life that's going on right in front of us.
Well, I just saw you speak this morning at a professional speakers meeting. Did a great job, by the way. And I'm not just saying that. I enjoyed it. It's different. And I think sometimes Americans, when they come to the UK, it doesn't quite fit sometimes. But you were down to earth, yet you were motivational, inspirational, a lot of energy, of course, right? You are the chief energy officer, right? The CEO. So you got all of that stuff. But what I liked about that was, it was real as well. And so it's interesting because when you said doing these 300 and something things on a Wednesday, I didn't think you would maybe talk about serious stuff like George Floyd. I didn't think you would talk. I thought it'd be like, it's all yeehaw, yeehaw, kind of like put your hands in the air, let's keep it. But no, you got real as well.
Yeah, there's a time and a space and a place for the positive, the optimism, and there's a time and a space for the real. And I take pride that specifically on LinkedIn, I share the real of my life. I'm married to a South American Argentinian, so there's challenges, just like in any relationship. I've got a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. Pray for me. Life be lifing. There's never a dull moment. When you look at our society and just what's going on, there's a lot of things that impact my community. People that look like me, people that look like my wife, and I would be negligent if I didn't address it. I don't address it as much as I could and probably as I should, but that's a personal decision because what I found is the more you focus on something, it can be all consuming. So I'm very intentional with how much news I consume. I know enough to be informed, but I don't immerse myself in the news because the news cycle, it can put you down. It could put me in a spiral down. So I make an intentional choice. But for me, I try to let people know that life is not all rainbows, sunshine, and unicorns. I wish it was, but I've gone through some stuff and continue to go through some stuff. I mean, our industry, if I look back at this industry and my journey, there's been ups and there's been some downs. There's been a lot of twists and turns, some highs, some lows, but it's been a great experience. Even the lows, the times where I had to dip in the savings, the times that I had to sell off some stock in order to pay my mortgage and my car bill, in order to pay for my son's soccer. Those weren't proud moments because for me as a male and as a breadwinner, I want to be able to provide financially, but I also take pride in doing what I need to do to take care of my obligations, hanging in there even when the going gets tough. I believe that tough people, which is anyone that's listening to this, and you and I, we're tough people. We're greater than tough times. And we've shown that over the years. If you think about it, you've been in this game for 30 plus years? I've been in it for 5 years. We continue to persist. We continue to stick at it, regardless of the obstacles, the challenges, the barriers. And
someone once told me years ago that that, do you understand the word plodder? Do you understand the word plod?
No.
No, it's not a US word. So plodding is just one foot in front of the other,
Plodding
walking,
along.
you're plodding along, right?
Yep.
So someone said to him, I remember years ago I read an article and I knew this guy, he was a speaker, and he said, I remember him saying that plodding is underrated because sometimes it's just putting one foot in front of another.
That's right.
And that's, when you've got to, like you said, dip into savings or the cash flow is difficult or, you, in the speaking world, it might be that you were one of 5 people that went to get a speaking engagement and you didn't get it. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I got an email just yesterday which said, "Dear sir or madam, are you available on this date? How much do you cost? Yours sincerely." That's obviously gone to 12 other speakers.
That's right.
So I reply and I try to make a phone call as I always do. And I have some blurb I can send them, but I've got a 1 in 12 chance of getting that. This is a weird job. So when I have my friends who say, "Oh, I've got a job interview coming up," I'm nervous. I'm like, speakers, we have 3 job interviews a day. Like,
that's right.
That's
right.
We are going for things all the time and we don't miss them and stuff. So yeah, so I like the way that there's a depth to you, Larry, and I appreciate that because maybe on the surface you look, in the UK, it's like, here's a positive thinking, yeehaw style American. But no, there's more to you than that. There's more to you. It's not just the surface stuff. And I think that's where the real depth and wisdom is, isn't it? Is when you get beyond that surface. So yeah, I do believe that if we think positively, we get a better, view of life. It's better than being a negative person. But in my book, I called it being realistically positive. So you understand the state of the world, but you're still like, and so for me, that's like those little interactions, like when I'm in a coffee shop, chatting to the person in the queue. And I saw you doing that earlier today. When we were in a queue for somewhere in the bar or something, you were chatting to someone. I do that all the time because those little interactions for me are the way of keeping on board, keeping going and all that stuff. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I think there's maybe on a surface level, and if you judge people, it could be like, Larry's Mr. Positive, but actually, no, there's another level there. And as I said earlier today, and I'm not just saying this because you're sat in front of me, but you're the same guy on the stage and off the stage. And that is something I know that we both value. That's integrity. That's reality, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. And that's important as well, isn't it? Well, we got quite serious then, didn't we? Sorry about that, everybody. Let's move to some speaker tips then. Why don't you give us, 4 or 5 tips to someone who's a new speaker or maybe an established speaker? What have you learned? Because I would say you've done 5 years, but I would say you've been on an accelerated program for 5 years because you've had coaches and other things. So you've got a few tips for speakers listening right now.
Yeah. One of the first is community. Tom Singer, who's the voice of Speakernomics, the official podcast of NSA, National Speaker Association. He asked me 5 years ago. I remember it was in the land of Clubhouse, the audio only app. He said, "Larry, who are your speaker friends?" I said, "Tom, I barely have any regular friends. I've only got one speaker friend, and that's you." He said, "I'm not your friend, Larry." And he was being serious. But find yourself speaker friends, a community, PSA, your local PSA, a mastermind of other folks that understand the industry. The next thing that I've experienced is speakers speak. It's kind of funny that the more I speak, I'm honing my craft. I'm getting opportunities to share my service, and word gets around. People talk. People see what you're doing. Even when you don't know, people are watching. So I encourage people to speak. If you're a professional speaker, when's the next time that you're going to speak? Number 3.
So let's go back to that one. So speak. But the big debate in the industry is, do you speak for free or do you speak for no fee? What's your view on that?
I believe that if you have an opportunity to speak and serve, if it's the right audience.
Yeah.
So I would say be careful with the pro bono and the low bono engagements. Early on, I said yes to everything. Now I'm more selective. And what I found is that there can be an exchange of value that doesn't necessarily have to be my speaker fee. I call those non-cash considerations.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I love to golf. If you can get me on the nicest golf course in the area, there's a monetary value. If you'll fly my wife and kids out, there's a monetary value. If you'll let us stay for a couple nights extra in the hotel, it's monetary value. If you will get me high quality video, if you'll give me testimonials, recommendations, if I can write an article in your newsletter, there's a monetary value. And if I'm speaking to the right audience, for me, MPI, Meeting Professionals International, right audience. NACE, National Association of Catering and Events, perfect audience. I have some leeway in terms of my fees. So I would just encourage people to think through, be intentional when it comes to your fees. But early on, I would say yes. And then the last tip, and this is probably the most important, relationships. I really believe that relationships with other speakers, your speaker friends, and relationships with those folks that can book you. For me, it's CROs, Chief Revenue Officers, VPs of Sales, Director of Sales Enablement, CEOs, COOs. Those relationships are critical because they're hosting events, sales kickoffs, company kickoffs, quarterly kickoffs. They're hosting client events where they might need an MC. They might need someone to come in and share some knowledge around sales, LinkedIn, and life. And I want to make sure that when that happens, hold on, who's that guy? LL Cool J? No, that's the rapper. LLJR? No, that's his company name. The guy with the big open mouth smile. He's got the stupid gold mic. He's got the smile for a mile. Larry Long Jr. That's pretty much my plan.
LLJ. I'm LJ, of course. You're LJ, LLJ. So this is helpful. So this is Larry Long in Leeds, and I'm Lee from Leeds. So the whole thing's just made, isn't it? Some great tips there. That's some fantastic tips. So why don't you tell us how people can track you? How can they find you, Larry? Yeah,
the first place would be LinkedIn. They call me LinkedIn Larry. Larry Long Jr. That's JR. The second place is my website. And imagine this. My website is LarryLongJr.com. Please reach out if there's anything I can do to support you. Anything I can do to serve as a resource, I would be honored. I'd be privileged. It would be my absolute blessing to be able to serve and support you.
Yeah. That's great, Larry. It's a pleasure to meet you again. And it's a pleasure to have you stay in my house as well.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Lee from Leeds.
I think now we're going to watch the England match.
Yes, sir.
It's during the World Cup. So thank you, Larry. Thank you. Thanks for listening to my podcast. If you're interested in me speaking in your workplace, coaching you, or interested in books or courses or any of that good stuff, then you can find it all at leejackson.org. That's leejackson.org/links.